Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone, as we get to ride home with you every single afternoon. If you don't have time to watch me at work, that's fine. You can watch us on social media, facebook.com/DFiesel. I would not want you to get in trouble with your boss, so make sure you watch it at your convenience. Now, you can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com, and also the biggest country station right here in South Carolina, WZLA. We're real proud to be part of that team as well, right here in Abbeville, South Carolina. You can also find us in another television station that's on channel 182, and that's on Charter Spectrum, and that's found pretty close to Huntsville, Alabama. We're real proud to be part of that team as well. But again, thank you so much for watching. Continue sending email. I love them. Twanna can tell you, I love hearing from you. Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. I'm real happy to have Twanna Padgett with me this morning, and it's always so good to be with you, and I'm glad we finally got this thing to work.
Good morning. I am excited about being on Miss Donna's show.
Well, I'm excited to have you.
I'm not just excited. I'm also nervous because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, as far as, like a TV show, podcast, or whatever. Growing up as a child, my dream was to become an actress. But unfortunately, throughout the years, I never pursued my dream. It's like I just never went after it. So when like Facebook came out or whatever, I'm constantly going live just saying stuff, but people really don't just pay me attention.
Yeah, they do. They actually do, because we're friends on Facebook, and I get to see some of your things.
Oh, do you?
Okay. Yeah. And you're having fun with it, and that's the big deal.
I do. And like I'm from Johnston, South Carolina, which is a small town. And at one point in time, like the people in the town that I'm from, they used to call me the Facebook celebrity. And so, that really just made my day whenever they were doing that. But, I just do it a lot of time for fun, because a lot of times I'm not doing, like a lot of stuff. So, but I'm excited today that Miss Donna, she's taking the time out to put me on her podcast.
Well, it's a lot of fun. And I want to have you on the show. We met actually through business.
We did.
And so it just kind of grew from that. And so let's talk a little bit about what you do.
Okay, well, I am a notary public. And actually, I became a notary in 2024. And what made me want to become a notary was I had a friend that was a notary. And she did a marriage for this couple. And at that point in time, it's like I didn't know notaries could actually marry people. And so I wanted to marry people. Well, since I've been a notary, I've only signed marriage licenses, but I still want to stand in front of a congregation, or, stand in front of people and actually to perform marriage.
Yeah, but would you quiz them? And the reason I'm saying that is my granddad used to be a notary, and he was a superintendent at Cotton Mill, and he was kind of a notary on the side. He had this sign up on the house that said Notary Public. And so people would come to him for him just to sign marriage certificates. And then sometimes I would see him quizzing people, and he would say, "Now, you sure you want to spend the rest of your life?" I mean, he would like quiz people, and I say, "Granddad, they're coming to you. They're apparently wanting to get married. Why do you keep quizzing people?" And he'd say, "It's a serious thing. I want to make sure they know what they're getting themselves into." Okay. Do you find yourself wanting to do that sometimes?
No, I haven't, because I look at it like, in the marriage, like I said, I still haven't performed the actual wedding, but just signed the licenses. But I also, like, whenever I marry somebody, I tell them, like, try to go through the scriptures from the Bible. And one of the scriptures that I stand firm on is, what God joined together, let no man put asunder. And so I feel like if God put those marriages together, then no man is going to be able to take them away. And so, it's like, a lot of people, not to just get, through the Bible with everything, but, like a lot of people, they do get married and God actually don't put the marriage together. It's just kind of like
it's a lust thing instead of a love thing. Yeah.
And so, it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to stand on. And so, it's like, I don't just want to quiz people, because I feel like once they're ready to take that step, they should know that they are ready for it, being single myself. I mean, but yeah. But anyway, in the year 2024, every year my family have like a family reunion. And so we were in Savannah, Georgia, and I have a cousin that lives in Lakeland, Florida. And she was like, and I was telling her about what I was telling you about how I wanted to become a notary. She was like, well, Twanna, that would be a good step, as building a business, because she was telling me that you can do like loan signing, which is how I met you and your husband, was through the loan signing. And she said, well, Twanna, I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to plant a seed in you taking your business forward. And she did that. And so to this day, I'm very grateful for what she did, because even though I don't do it like on a regular, I do want to expand my business. I want to expand my business. And I have met some amazing people with the loans. Since I've become a notary. I'm also currently doing fingerprinting.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
that's interesting.
That's one of the things she also told me, like you fingerprint people for background checks and everything. But since I took the certification as being a fingerprint, I've only done 2. But it's one of the things that I would love to expand, because you always meet.
I bet you would meet some really interesting people there.
Yeah.
So I have a friend who actually grew up in an orphanage, and in the orphanage, she was from New York, and she said part of her job at the orphanage, from a little girl on up until she was, like almost a teenager, before somebody finally adopted her, was cleaning the floors.
Okay.
And so she was getting married, and wonderful, successful marriage. Husband was in the military, and that's how they met. And so to get married, they had traveled out of the country, and they had to have her fingerprints. She didn't know this. She didn't have any fingerprints. It was from the cleaning supplies that she used when she was cleaning the orphanage. And I said, "You're an ex-con, really?" She said, "No." She said, "I have no fingerprints." And she said, "Let me prove it to you." So she said, "Where's some ink?" So she put her ink and then did this on a piece of paper, and I said, "Girl, you're an ex-con." So if you run across somebody who doesn't have it can be legitimate.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that you could get to the point where you don't even have the fingerprints.
Well, she was a little bit older than I was, so she grew up in the 40s, 1940s, and she said, "I'm just telling you, they had stronger cleaning supplies then than they do now." The U.S. government sometimes puts a clamp on some of that, but she said, "Yeah, I cleaned so many floors, and that was her job, cleaning floors." And I said, "Well, didn't you wear gloves?" And she said, "Are you kidding? I was in a."
Well, so now they have the gloves just right there, so
now they take care of you a little bit better.
Right.
But yeah, cleaning the floors, no fingerprints.
Wow.
So what are some of the uses? What are some of the reasons people would use a notary?
What is for fingerprinting? For background checks. Like the ones that I did sign, it was like one guy, he was getting hired at the hospital and he needed to do fingerprints. So, I met him at Starbucks and I fingerprinted him. And so it's like this other agency, they use fingerprints as far as background checks. And so like, I can't remember exactly what happened, because they do have, the agency that I did it for, they do have like a contract person, and maybe she wasn't available to do it that day. And so I have a Google search page. And on my Google search page, they found me. And so, I did it. But I would love to go forward with that, as well, with the notary. I would love to go forward with the fingerprinting. But
I can see how the banking industry, anything to do with finance, basically anything in the world, because employee theft is so rampant now, so I can see how every company could probably use you.
Yeah. And then I currently just started making t-shirts. And my sister, she was like, "You becoming a jack of all trades." And I'm like, "No, I just like trying different things." And so, like currently I'm trying to do like make t-shirts for, different events, different planets and stuff like that. And there's just something I'm working with.
Oh, like family reunions, where everybody wears the same shirt.
Right. At this time of the year, it's like, so I'm advertising that as well. So I in the year of 2018, I got sick. And so the doctor took me out of work. And so, like after 5 years, I got option to go back to work on the part-time. So currently I work part-time with the Center of Disabilities and Special Needs. I like my job, but then all at the same time, I'm the kind of person that I work when I want to work. That's why I'm PRN. I don't want to be dedicated to
There's something about owning your own business.
It is.
It's that freedom that you get. But now let's talk to folks out there who are actually thinking about doing that. Well, I tell you what, let's go into a commercial break. Can you believe we're halfway through the show already?
Do it now?
We're halfway through the show.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, already. So I told you it would fly. Even politicians tell me that.
I can see it.
Even a politician goes, did I do something wrong?
Right.
Like, not yet, but you probably will. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to a break. We're going to be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there with me, okay? Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. Finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan. What's up? I made you something. Oh, thank you. And I got something for you. You grew these? Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, as we get to ride home with each other. That's on the, by the way, this is on the the Eastern time zone. You moved from Alabama last year.
Oh,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm used to the Central time zone.
okay.
So sometimes I have to make sure I mention that it is Eastern and not
Right.
Central time zone. But we appreciate you being with us and all the different ways that you do watch. You can find us on social media just as easy. And that way you can watch anytime you want to. And that is on Facebook.com/D Fiesel. That's my name, D Fiesel. I've got my special guest, Twanna Padgett, with me right now. And let's talk about just starting a business, because sometimes you're comfortable on your job,
Right.
and but you just think that there might be something else I can do.
Right.
Do you suggest people just jump out, quit their job, and start their new business, or what? Because I've seen people do that and they don't understand what all is involved in starting a business.
No, like I said, with me, it was different because, like, if you're going to jump out and start your own business, you need to have the capital, and actually does.
Yeah.
But like with me, it's kind of like I don't have nothing, like, nothing on the side or anything. So like I say, it was like a challenge for me.
Mhm.
And, like I said, with my cousin being the planting the seed, it helps me in order to get the supplies and everything that I needed to start. Plus the application fee, because you do have to have, like, one of the things to become a notary, you have to be a registered voter.
Mhm.
And you can,
And today's voting day.
it is.
Get out and
Actually-
vote.
Actually, last when they had the primary election, I worked in the polls. And so my poll manager, she asked me yesterday, could I work today? But because I want to be on your show, I
You
said
should have
no.
told me we could have rescheduled.
No, because
that's important.
it is. But the thing was, I was like, I've been wanting to do this ever since I met you.
Mhm.
And then, like I say, I'm having eye surgery in 2 days on the 25th. And so I didn't know, what the time frame, whatever, when we'll be able to get back. So I was like, no, I can't do it tomorrow. But when the election come up in November, I plan on being there.
Yeah, that's good. My grandmother used to work polls every single year. I mean, every time there was ever any kind of an election whatsoever. And I decided to do it one time just to kind of follow in her steps. And it was different. There's so many rules and so many regulations and all this.
And see, like, this is my second time around. I did it for the presidential election in 2024. I did it. And so when they did on June the 9th, I worked that time. And so she asked me to do it today, but I wanted to come to the show. And I said,
I got to ask you a question. I'm disappointed in voter turnout. I don't know, if only 10% of the citizens in your state vote, that's not really good. And I don't want to hear from the 90% who don't vote. If you want to fuss, I'm not going to listen to you.
Right. And it was so, like, in working in the poll on June the 6th, I mean, it was just like somebody might come in once every hour. It was just like very slow.
Come on.
And I think she said in my percentile, it was like 1,000 and some people. And out of the 1,000 and some people, I want to say 300 voters.
No, that's not right.
No.
Now, you only get me and Twanna started on that, do you?
And I want to say it was like 300 voters that came through that day. But there are also some that did early voting.
Yeah,
But
that could have accounted for some of it.
Right, but still, it didn't get up to that 1,000, and I want to say like 1,700 people in that area.
Well, I'm going to give you one. There is no excuse unless you're in a hospital and you're having surgery. I get it, but so I'll just give you an example with my parents. Okay, so one parent was a Democrat and one was a Republican. They still voted.
Right.
And I even quizzed them on that. I said, why are you even bothering? Because you actually cancel each other's votes out. And I was just a young, stupid teenager then, but I was just like, does it make sense you vote? Because you're doing that. They were both stubborn enough. Yeah, we're voting. My vote counts.
But now me, like, we're not going to get into the political part, but I normally don't vote. At least I didn't. But the thing is, like I say, in 2018, when I got sick, I came back a different person. It was like I wanted to try the things that I've never done before. I want to do things it was like when it was time for the election, I was sitting at home one day because at this time I wasn't working. I was like, I wonder what it takes to work in the poll. But hey, so I figured it out and I actually like it. So since then, I am becoming more political. You know, like now I'm actually trying to follow to see exactly what's going on where
We
I wasn't
gotta
paying
know what's going on.
Right, I know, but at one point in time I wasn't paying any attention, but you know, now I'm more like into it. And with the social media, you know, you learn out.
Well, my parents being so political, you know, that one's Democrat, one's Republican, I learned to be very, you know, into what's going on. But I will tell you something. So back in the 1980s, I've always voted. So back in the 1980s, when Daddy Bush was running and Bill Clinton were running, one voted for Bush, one voted for Clinton. But the problem is I didn't like either one of them, so I voted for Ross Perot. I didn't tell them until decades later what I did because I knew what they would do. You know, they would just go into a hissy fit. And I never let either one of them know which one I was. And I'm really neither one. I'm kind of for the person.
Okay. And that's the way I feel too. That's the way I feel too.
I think you do, but you need to know about them. I mean, you need to get out and ask questions. And I'm talking in a kind way. You don't have to be. I've been at events before where people just get this nasty,
right?
You know, asking questions, and I'd be sitting there. Why do you have to ask it like that?
Yeah.
Just raise your hand, be very nice about it, and ask a question. But it's important we know these folks,
right? It is
because we're hiring them, right?
Right.
They're not hiring us. We're hiring them to help us,
right?
But I'm glad you see it that way. So let's think a little bit more about starting a business when you're nice and comfortable in your job, but you just feel like there's something else you need to be doing.
And that's how I feel. Like that's why I reach out. Like I'm at the point so where I'm trying to try a lot of stuff until I actually get it right. And again, like I say, I love the notary business. I love meeting people, different people. And I like as far as being a signing agent. But, you know, like looking at the social media, I see where so many people, where they're actually doing this now. And so with them doing it, it's encouraging me to do more. And, you know, like advertisement is a big thing. You know, it's like,
I'm going to agree with that since that's what I do for a living. Thanks for bringing that. And I didn't pay her to say that.
Right.
Thank you.
So, you know, like being a business owner, like, somewhat business owner, I'm still working on it. And I'm trying to grow it. But, you know, it's like, okay, if I don't want to get up at 7:00 in the morning, then I don't get up at 7:00 in the morning. Because, you know, I'm working for myself.
I got news for you. If you've been waking up at 7:00 in the morning for a long time, you'll continue to do so. Because that's what I said. Oh, I'll just arrange all of my appointments. I'll get up at 11 if I want to. That never happens. Well, for one thing, we got a farm out
But
here.
then too, that's another thing that, you know, I'm working on is my procrastination. Because of the fact I do procrastinate, but then too, if you're going to be a business owner, you really, even though you own your own business, but you're still also working on other people's time.
Yeah, you just got to dive in there.
Right. Because, you know, like, just like today, I'm coming here with you. Okay, I was a little late, but it's your time. And so, you know, like, if I set up an appointment for a certain time, I need to be there because I want my business to expand. And I want people to, like, I got a Google page and by looking at my Google search and I got very good ratings. And so, you know, that's the way of advertisement where they know that I put my best foot forward. And so, you know, it's like, if you got good ratings, then that means that people are going to want to use you more.
Oh, and that's important. And let me tell you this. Okay, so I have actually turned down advertising business before. And let me tell you why I've done it. This one guy especially, I mean, a nice store. I mean, great storefront, good to merchandise, everything, but his employees were rude. And so when I told him, I said, look, I could send you 1 million customers, but they're all going to walk out the door because of your employees. And he said, what's wrong? Because he was never there. See, he didn't know when the cat's away, the mice play.
Right.
Well, the mice played when he wasn't there. And I just told him, I said, look, you're going to think it's my advertising, and it's not my advertising, it's your employees. They're not nice, they're not attentive. And again, it was a retail establishment. And when people walk in that door, you got to speak to them.
Right.
You know, you got to be like courteous and can I help you? Not going overboard. I've had people follow me around before like they were afraid I was going to steal something. But I'm just telling you, there's a middle ground there when it comes to employees. And I turned the guy down. And he said, I didn't realize that. And I said, yeah, that's why your business is low. It has nothing to do with the quality. You've got great stuff here. You got quality business. it's your employees. They're on the phone talking to boyfriends, girlfriends, and all this kind of stuff, and they're not greeting people when they come in the door.
Right.
So sometimes you have to educate people, and you probably have to educate people as well.
Right. Yeah. And like, well, as far as employees, currently I have one, which is my nephew. He's 17 years old, but you know, it's kind of like with him being 17, kind of like growing him to become in the workforce. And he's currently trying to decide how he's going to, you know, like his career after high school. So he's currently thinking about doing a social and arts because he have desire for the camera. You know, it's like we just invested in a nice camera, and so you know, it's like a lot of other things that he looks at. So he's my printer. You know, like whenever I get different stuff to come in, like with the loan signing where we had to print up the documents and stuff, he's currently working on doing that for me.
Oh, he knows how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like it's easy, but it's just the point of, you know, like working with me is one of the things that I wanted. And so I don't really just per se, I'm not really just ready to just hire somebody else. So I get him to work with me and I just pay him accordingly.
Yeah. So you're basically grooming him for when he gets out on his own.
Right. Trying to. Yeah.
And that's basically what we're on earth for anyway.
Right.
Is to groom people for other things as they move on.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. Okay. Let's tell folks how they can get in contact with you. You know where the show's already about over?
Do it now.
It's almost over.
Okay.
Everybody does the same thing. It's like, did I do something? Did I do something wrong? No, you didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
So how can folks get in contact?
So in order to get in contact with me, I have a Google search page. My Google search page is T Smoker Notary Fingerprinting and More. I also have, I have keychains. I don't know if you can see them or not, but I'm currently passing out my keychains. Like whenever I go to different places and different people, this is a totally different story. We're not going to be able to get in that too. But sometimes I drive for Uber. I'm an Uber driver.
Oh, you are.
I am. Because I mean, like I do a lot. When I'm not doing nothing, I just do it. And, you know, just passing the word around. I put out flyers and I'm going to ask you, you know, to advertise my business as well. Okay. So
that'll be a lot of fun.
And then too with the notary,
you must carry a big business card. Uber driver.
I do this and that. I just be trying a lot of stuff when I'm bored. But
I do too, so I combine it into a talk
right.
show.
I mean, when I'm bored,
maybe you need to do that.
Right. And then when I get busy, it's like I'm working, and then for the next 5 days I'm doing nothing. But I'm passing out flyers as far as my business. So
and I want your advertising, but the best advertising is you. And the best advertising is your customers. Now I'm in there. I'll promote you, but I'm just saying you are your best advertisement. And what you do. We're going to have to call it a day already. Wasn't that a fast 30 minutes?
Oh, really?
She thought it was going to drag.
I did. Because I was like, I have no clue what I'm going to say.
I told you what would.
But I do appreciate you having me on your show.
Well, I appreciate you being with me. And we appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you again so much for watching. Continue sending email. It makes my day. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. Thank you so much for watching.
Can I put my email?
Do it.
And my email is TwannaP@iCloud.com. And again, thanks for having me on your show.
Oh, and let me point this out. Twanna, Twanna, because I'm going to spell your name Tawa.
Oh, right.
I have a friend. Her name is Twanna. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being with us. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon, and I do get to ride home with you. It's always a pleasure. You can find us syndicated on Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. You can also find us on the biggest country radio station in South Carolina. That's WZLA. Real proud to be part of that team. Another way you can find us is on another television station. That's channel 182 on Charter Communications, part of the Spectrum Network, and that's found also up in Alabama, up in the northern part of Alabama. So really proud to be part of that as well. You can always find us on all the social media sites as well. Facebook.com, number one there, Facebook.com/DFiesel. And I wanted to say that because if you are at work right now, please don't get in trouble watching the show. It airs Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. I want you to be able to watch it whenever you can. And you can do that on all of my social media sites. It's always there. Let's go ahead and, the email. Go ahead and send email to Donna@donnasedge.com, just like you see right there in the little ticker, Donna@donnasedge.com. And also make sure you check out the QR code, and you're going to really be glad you did, because Vivian Cummings is with us right now. Vivian, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. Well, my name is Vivian Cummings, and fun fact, I married the best man from my first wedding, and my husband and I have been now married almost 24 years. Long story there. We'll save that.
I bet. We'll save that for another time.
But I'm a bonus mom to 2 now grown adult children, and I have 5 grandchildren. They call me Glammy. And love that. I spent 27 years with the federal government. 14 of those was with the Air Force. And then I moved over to the Forest Service, where I retired recently, took an early retirement last year. And in retirement, I wrote 2 books and had them published. And oh my goodness, now I'm a co-host on Abundant Television Salted with my 2 co-hosts, Stephanie and Molly. And I'm loving this new season of life. It's different, but I'm loving it.
I got to ask you about Salted. Okay. First of all, Abundant Television is awesome. And everybody loves Rob Paz. So I've known him for a number of years. And this guy is ambitious, and he is such a cheerleader for all the talk show hosts. I can't believe the guy.
Yes. You know what? Rob reached out to me. I think I put my name out there on one of the podcast sites and was like, hey, I wrote some books. If you want to have me on your show, I'd love to be there. And he reached out to me and had me on the morning break with him. And we hit it off so well and had such camaraderie and silliness. And so then later on down the road, I got to be a guest on Salted with the 4 ladies. It used to be 4 ladies. And then shortly thereafter, they asked me to join the panel with them. And so I was just so incredibly honored. It is a talk show, women's talk show, and it airs every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And my co-host, Stephanie Esposito, she does some single interviews with our wonderful guests. And then once a month, the last Tuesday of the month, us girls get together on the panel and we talk about a lot of those issues that were discussed throughout the month. And these are issues that every woman is facing, and nothing is off the table. We dive into some pretty controversial topics sometimes, but I think it's conversations that we need to have. And so God calls us to be the salt and the light. And so that's where the name came from. And I think I am on my 4th month now doing Salted. So
that's great. So let me ask you a question, okay? Because, women, we feel like we have different ideas of the way we do things. I'll give you an example. So we were living in Charlotte, North Carolina. My show used to be there. I was there for a number of years. And so I had a Christian psychiatrist on the show with me. Happened to be a dude. And so he was talking about the movie or the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, had just come out. And I said, you aren't kidding me. We were talking about the difference between men and women. I said, so this is what happened the other day. I said, Phil and I, my husband, Phil and I, were driving down the road. He was driving, and we passed the Wendy's. And I said, I like Frosties. And he just kept going. And then I kind of patted on him a little bit, and he said, "Is there something wrong?" And I said, "Yeah, why didn't we stop and get a Frosty?" He said, "You didn't say you wanted one." I said, "Yes, I did." And he said, "No, you didn't. You said you liked them. You didn't say you wanted one." And I said, "Well, by saying that, that meant I wanted one." And I thought the show was only watched by women. I started getting email from men who were saying, "Why can't you women just say whatever it is you want? Why do you have to go through riddles?" Do you hear that from guys and from women? Like, we answer things in riddles.
Yes. And
yes.
We do. And we expect the men in our lives to just know what we are thinking and what we want, and they don't. And so I'm actually learning to tell my husband exactly what I want. You know what I mean? Stop beating. And I don't know why I've always had to like beat around the bush, because he never gets it. 24 years and he still doesn't know how to read my mind. And so now I'm getting to where it's like, "Hey, babe, will you carry the laundry basket up the stairs? You know, don't just leave it there. Like I usually just like leave it there and think, oh, he'll pick it up." Well, no, I mean, he doesn't think about that. So I have to say, "Hey, babe, will you grab the laundry basket?" And just tell them what you need. Tell them what you want. They're happy to accommodate. They just don't know.
Yeah, they can't read our minds. And we think if we give this little subtle hint, they should be able to pick up on it, right? So my grandparents had been married 67 years when my granddad passed away. And so every year, after the 50th wedding anniversary, we gave them a party, because that's an accomplishment. So they had been married for 65 years. And so this particular one of my cousins who'd been married a few times actually came to my grandmother and said, "Aunt Sybil, how can you be married to somebody for 65 years? I mean, how do you do it?" And so she was about to give us the secret, but Phil was hanging around. And so I was trying to get rid of him because I didn't even know what the secret was. It's just between women, you know what I mean? So anyway, I said, "Honey, don't you have somewhere to go? Bye." And he said, "No, I want to hang around. I want to see what this is." So because he had a feeling I was doing something to him, he just didn't know what. So I said, "Let him listen." So my grandmother said, "Well, what I do is I wear the pants in the family, but I let him think he does." And that was great sound advice.
That is so cute. I love that.
That could be a Southern thing. I'm from the South.
Oh, well, I'm from Oklahoma. Now, we like to say we're from the South, but we're really the Midwest. But we still have a lot of...
We have our ways. So you know where I'm coming from.
I know exactly where you're coming from.
You get it.
And by the time we're done with this interview, my accent is going to be like way up here. He's going to be like, yes. He's going to be like,
I'll bring it back. The South is going to rise again with me and you. But that is true. I mean, we just have to be really truthful in everything we say, because if you give a hint, sometimes, it comes out wrong.
Yes.
And I'm always concerned about text. So one of my friends one day sent a text and I sent her one back. And then she sent a text back and wanted to know what I was mad about. And I'm like, what is she talking about? And I'm looking, did I accidentally type something weird in there? And I looked, no, it was just a normal answer right back. And so I sent her one back. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Why do you think I'm mad? And she said, because you yelled at me on your text. And I said, I don't see any emoji or anything that shows that I'm yelling at you. What are you talking about? I had accidentally pressed something and I was sending it in caps. So what I didn't realize is, sometimes it's just education. You just have to figure it out. So I did not know I was yelling at her with my answer. So sometimes I'm even afraid of sending a text.
I'm going to tell you what, Donna, this is the thing with me. I'm a writer. I'm a published author. You would think that I would proofread my text messages before I hit send.
You see why I'm about to start laughing, because I'm thinking of some things I've done.
I mean, but my mind works really fast. I'm just constantly, going. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just typing it out, and then I'm sending it. And then I have moved on to the next thing that I'm doing, right? And then every now and again, I'll look back at my text and I'm like, that makes no sense. There's so many spelling errors, and autocorrect will change the word to something that makes no sense. Now, my husband has grown because he knows me, so he has learned to read over all of the incorrect grammar and misspellings, because he's like, I know what she's trying to say. But I do that all the time, and then I have to send a follow-up one and be like, y'all, I am so sorry. And I still haven't learned to slow down. I still do it, and That's terrible to be an author and you can't even spell on your text.
Sometimes I think there's a little demon inside that phone that wants to mess you up. It's messing with you. And sometimes I've learned to I look first. And so I'll go, ooh, I'm glad I looked at that because that would have been embarrassing for his client to have seen that. So, I mean, I totally get what you say, but sometimes communication just happens and we don't mean to miscommunicate. It just happens, but then we got to straighten it up and fix it.
Yes, I agree. Always got to go back and fix it. But for me, it's slow down. That's the message for me today.
Well, that's another way we're different from the guys, because we can do like 10 things. I'm like you. I'm doing this. I'm sending a text. I'm doing this. And so we can do that. The guys are just not geared that way. Mm-hmm. And my husband says sometimes I'm just worn out just looking at you. I mean, because you're just doing all these different.
My husband says I scurry. So in the evenings, this is so funny. So when it's time to go to bed, he gets up, he goes to bed. I get up and I am doing all these things, making the coffee, making sure the doors are locked, turning on the outside light, turning on some inside lights. I mean, I have my rituals and he's like, "Are you done scurrying?" And I'm like, "Almost." So it takes me about 5 minutes to get up there after he's already in bed, tucked in and ready to go sleep.
But then again, the guys have this other way about them that I wish we had more of. And one of those is just saying it like it is. You don't have to guess. Like I've learned, does this dress make me look fat? I mean, he will not, he will say it nicely. I mean, he'll be really calm. And one time I've always had long hair. And, but one time I thought, I just want to change. So I had my hair cut kind of shoulder length. And so I come in, I didn't even tell him I was going to do it. So I come in from work and I'd had my hair done on my lunch hour. And he just kind of looked at it and he goes, "That's different." Well, I could tell he didn't like it,
No.
And so because it was just like a huge change. So my son is a teenager at the time. He runs down the stairs and he goes, "Oh, Mom, okay, all right. It'll grow back out, right?" So that's the truthfulness.
You guys.
And a guy, how dudes are. But I like the frankness. I like it because, I mean, I want to know the truth about things. I don't want to like go around 10 bin cycles to try to figure it out. And so when I ask a question, it's like, I really want the answer. And my husband will say, "Now, do you want the true, unvarnished answer to this?" And I'll say, "I want the truth. Even if it hurts me, I start crying in your face. Tell me." But that's kind of refreshing. And sometimes we don't do that. We're so afraid we're going to hurt somebody's feelings, We'll just not say anything or, But how can we be a little, without being like a guy, how can we be a little more in favor of this? I'm just going to tell it like it is.
I think I try to do that, actually. I mean, I would never want, like, if another sister comes to me and says, "What do you think about this dress or this top?" If it doesn't look good on her, I don't want her to go out and be embarrassed. I mean, you know what I mean? If it's too flashy or her chest is out or whatever, I want to give her that feedback. And that's exactly what it is. It's feedback. And you can take it or you can leave it, But I try to do that because I want people to do that with me. If I've got something, anytime my husband has something on his face, like when we're eating or something, if he gets some sauce, I always tell him. But I have gone around with something in my teeth or on my face and nobody's told me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want somebody to be honest and say, "Hey, you got something hanging off your face," You
go to the restroom. "Oh, there's broccoli on my teeth."
Exactly.
I mean, that's happened a million times. Let's go into a commercial break. I can't believe Over the Show is gone. So let's go into a break. We'll be right back. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. You know, finding the right home isn't just about bedrooms and square footage. It's about comfort, security, and the feeling you get the moment you walk through the door. That's why so many families across Greenwood and the Lakelands area trust Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams. And I'll tell you from personal experience, Jenny was my realtor, and she truly cares about her clients. Jenny takes the time to listen, to understand what matters most, and to guide you every step of the way, whether you're buying your first home, upgrading, or ready to sell. Because this isn't just a transaction, it's your life. With local knowledge, personal care, and a commitment to getting it right, Jenny Ferguson makes the process simple and even enjoyable. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, now's the time to make your move. Call Jenny Ferguson with Keller Williams in Greenwood today and take the next step toward a place you'll truly love coming home to. Shine your style at Kiss My Glass right here in the Anderson Mall. There's a place where style meets sparkle. At Kiss My Glass, every piece is handcrafted, custom designed, and made to shine just like you. Owner Beth Gibson brings creativity to life with stunning custom tumblers, gifts, and one-of-a-kind pieces you won't find anywhere else. Look for the perfect gift or something uniquely you, from bold and glamorous to simple and elegant. There's something for every style, so stop by, get inspired, and leave with something unforgettable. Kiss My Glass inside the Anderson Mall, Anderson, South Carolina, where your sparkle begins. Be sure to check out Kiss My Glass on Facebook for updates and specials and gift ideas. Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for being with us. Vivian and I definitely appreciate it. And Vivian has done a lot of things in her life. She's a talk show host, and she is also the author of some books. So let's talk about those books. You can click on that QR code, by the way, and I encourage you to go ahead and buy those.
Yes, my books are Break Down Better, 52 Restoring Devotionals for Burned Out Women. And the second book is a guided journal that I've paired with it, and it is called A Better Way. And then there's a third thing that I've recently written, but it's a free download that anybody can get if they go to my website. And it is a leader guide. So if there's any women out there that wants to use these two resources to do a women's study group, I have created, I think it's like 45 pages, and it's step by step to take them through how they can lead a women's group. So hopefully folks will go download that and start their own ladies groups.
Let me ask you a question, because sometimes women get a bad rap as being the leader of a business. And so is this something women can use in the business world as well?
You know, I think they could actually, because there is some leadership tools that are in that guide and that you can use, whether it's with a women's group or at the job site. They may not be able to utilize the resources unless they do it on a break, but they can definitely take some of the nuggets from the guide into the workplace.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the books. We want folks to go ahead and purchase those.
So Break Down Better. So I got that title from a literary agent at a writers conference, a Christian writers conference a few years ago when I was pitching the idea to him. And I was telling him that the storyline came from a breakdown that I suffered years ago. And it was that moment where I had a mental breakdown. My body was also just breaking down, and I collapsed on my living room floor. And I was begging God to take me home. I didn't want to live anymore. Contemplated taking my own life, but kind of decided against that and just asked him to do it for me. And the thing is that I had spent my life just really striving for perfection. That's a whole nother podcast story. But I had just reached that point where I was depleted and I just couldn't do it anymore. And I knew that it was a habit. It was a terrible habit. I was addicted to it and I couldn't stop. And so unless God changed me, I didn't know that I could make it anymore. So it was so crazy because I had known God my whole life. I was saved and baptized when I was 12, but I'd never heard his voice before. And at that moment, I really felt him whisper in my spirit, hold on, I'll restore you. And so from that moment on, we kind of went through a wilderness season. A lot of things had to change in me, but I was up for the challenge because I was ready. I was ready to surrender and I was ready to change. And so when I'm pitching this to this literary agent, he says, you know what? It sounds like you could teach other people how to break down better. I'm like, that is a perfect title. And the subtitle, 52 Restoring Devotionals, Nehemiah rebuilt a city with God's favor and help that God provided in 52 days. And so I believe that if he can do that, then God can help restore us from burnout in 52 days. So that's kind of where the title came from. Each one of the days is a story of whether it's something that I've gone through personally. It provides also a prayer at the end. And then at the very back, I have God's promises, because he does promise to restore us. And he mentions that many times throughout the Bible. And so I included that at the back as well.
Was there any one thing that happened in your life that caused you to write the book? Like just one experience that you feel free to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, aside from the breakdown, that was the beginning. But what started me thinking about writing this particular book, I was actually writing my husband's story, and I was like 300 pages into my husband's story, and then I hit a brick wall and I couldn't do it anymore. And my husband told me, he's like, I think that's because God is asking you to write your story. And my story really, I mean, it's been my whole life, but the one thing that happened was I was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. And I didn't, for about 10 to 14 days, I can't remember, when I was being tested to stage it, they had already thought it had spread throughout my body. And so for that time frame, I was waiting to get a report back from the doctor so that we knew what kind of treatment to do. And it was during that time that God started speaking to me in dreams. And I started having these vivid dreams, and I got so incredibly close to God during that 2-week period. And I mean, it was almost like there was some prophesying going on, visions, so many things that I'd never experienced before. And I was like, okay, I get it. So when my husband suggested that I write about my journey, that's exactly what I did. So a lot of the devotions that are in that book come from a wilderness season, a spiritual warfare season, and then also that season where God and me, we partnered. And we wrote these books together.
Do you feel like it's important for us to jump through hoops in life? And when I say that, is because you're going to have a great season. Then you're going to have another season where you've got to jump over somebody, climb over somebody, or whatever to make something happen. Mm-hmm. How important are those steps there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to understand and discern what are opportunities from God, what are opportunities from our enemy, and what are opportunities that are good opportunities but aren't great. And so that's one of the things that I'm learning to discern, especially in this new season, as I'm trying to follow God's promptings, is I'm getting hit with all these opportunities. Mm-hmm. Most recently, I told you I retired last year. I kind of missed some of the working stuff and going to an office and stuff. And there was an opportunity that arose for me to be a private investigator. And that's part of my background when I was with the government. And I was so excited. I jumped on that opportunity. The pay was great. And I was so excited. But some things happened and that didn't work out. And I had to actually resign from that position. I'm like, okay, that was an opportunity. But I think it was also a test. And I don't think it was necessarily from God. And so what that job was doing was actually putting me in an environment that was not healthy. And it was also pulling me away from the ministry. And so I think we have to be careful when things come our way. And even if it's in some type of a ministry work, is really deciding, is this an opportunity from God or is this a distraction?
What do you think the difference is between a test, which is what you've been through, a test and just plain old timing about something to happen?
Yeah. Oh, that's something that I've really struggled with, timing, God's timing specifically. There's been a lot of things that have happened over the last 5 years of my life, from the cancer diagnosis up until today. And I'm in a journey. And for me to be prepared for what I'm doing today, I had to go through a lot of tests. I had to, and a lot of those became my testimonies too, by the way. But God needed to test that He can trust me with this newfound faith that I have. And am I really going to trust Him when things go a little sideways? And they have. I mean, I'll just tell you, in this last 5-6 years, I've gone through the change of life, and things have been just absolutely insane when it comes to my health and the changes that I'm going through, and how I'm able to maneuver through that is definitely been a test of my character. And how am I going to stay and complain all day? Am I going to be depressed all day? Or am I going to say, no, this is something that I can shine through. And with God's help, I'll be able to get through these things in this season of my life.
Absolutely. Vivian, thank you so much for that positive input. We can all use that. Everybody can. Thank you again so much for being on the show. And thank you guys so much for being with us as well. Vivian, let's give your website to the folks out there.
Yes, it's viviancummings.com, and there you can download that free resource that I was talking about, that leadership guide, as well as my books. There's also some devotions out there that'll link you over to YouVersion app. And you can get to my podcast, my media page, all the good things.
That sounds great. Thank you again so much for being with us. And thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Good afternoon, Sunshine. Medical Minute brought to you by Dr. Chuck with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. So what is the Beamer? Okay, now the Beamer uses very gentle pulse to electromagnetic signals. This will stimulate healthy muscles, and it supports the temporary blood flow. Now let's talk Beamer and circulation support. Now the Beamer gently supports natural circulation in healthy muscles. Now that's what I call natural health. Thank you so much for watching your Medical Minute, brought to you by Dr. Chuck. You know who he's with. He's with Lakeland's Chiropractic, where an ounce of prevention is worth what? A pound of cure. I hope you have a super duper awesome rest of the afternoon. You take care.
Lowe's knows that the projects you build in spring are the ones you can't wait to share. It's why we make sure you have our best deals with My Lowe's Rewards, and that you get help from people who've
been there,
done that.
Try this.
This spring, we'll help you build something rewarding.
Hey, Stan. What's up? I made you something. Oh, thank you. I got something for you. You grew these? Of course.
Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Some days, you've got big things to care about. Like that. And that. Luckily, the Whirlpool Smart Range automatically updates itself with features like Air Fry. So you can worry less about keeping up with the latest tech and care more about keeping up with the latest trends. Say cheese. Everyday care, Whirlpool.
Visit the helpful, knowledgeable staff at Bonds Appliance on Gunner Avenue in Gunnersville.
Ready to stop dreaming about a new home and start building it? Come see J&J Homes in Albertville, your local, family-owned and operated manufactured home builder. With our best price guarantee, 0 down with approved credit or land, getting into your new home may be easier than you think. From start to finish, J&J is here to help you get home. Visit us at 4954 Alabama Highway 431 in Albertville, or call 256-878-9939. Stop by J&J Homes in Albertville, your dream team for your dream home.
Hello,
Hello, this is Maury Yancey, President of the Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce staff, board, and membership proudly cheer the Wildcats on to victory. When you shop local, you are supporting the future of our young people. The Lake Guntersville Chamber of Commerce, cheering on the Wildcats.